Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Sultanate, along with Arab and Islamic countries, celebrate the first day of the blessed Eid al-Adha. And Hajj pilgrims carry out the stoning of the devil ritual marking the beginning of Eid al-Adha celebrations. Those are the headlines, and now for the news in detail. The Sultanate celebrated today, along with Arab and Islamic countries, the first day of the blessed Eid al-Adha. His Highness Syed Fahad bin Mahmoud Al Sayed, the Deputy Prime Minister for the Council of Ministers, performed Eid al-Adha prayers at the Al Khur Mosque in Muscat this morning. His Highness was accompanied during the Eid prayers by a number of their Highnesses, members of the royal family, their Excellencies, the ministers, advisors, and senior personnel. Honourable Sheikh Dr. Ishaq bin Ahmed Al Busaidi, Chairman of the Supreme Court and Vice Chairman of the Supreme Council for Judiciary, led the prayers. He began the Eid sermon by glorifying and thanking the Almighty for His bounties and blessings. The sermon talked about the need of the Islamic nation to hold on to noble characters and be the role model that reflects tolerance, honesty and guidance. After the sermon, His Highness received the well-wishers who expressed their sincere feelings towards His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, requesting Allah Almighty to protect the homeland and to preserve His Majesty the Sultan and to endow him with good health, happiness and a long life. His Excellency Syed Mohammed bin Sultan Al Busaidi, Minister of the State and Governor of Dhofar, performed this morning Eid al-Adha prayers at Sultan Qaboos Mosque in Salalah. His Excellency was accompanied by a number of their honourable members, their Excellencies and officials, as well as sheikhs, dignitaries of the Governorate of Dhofar, and a gathering of citizens and expatriates. Mohammed bin Saeed bin Khalif, Imam and preacher of Sultan Qaboos Mosque in Salalah, led the prayers. He focused in his sermon on a number of meanings and lessons on this great day of the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, which underlined a number of advices, lessons, and the reward of the good deeds and blessings. He pointed out to the importance of following the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He appealed to Allah to safeguard His Majesty Sultan Qaboos and to endow him with good health, happiness, and to return such happy occasions with good omen and blessing on His Majesty. Thousands of Muslims carried out the stoning of the devil ritual today to mark the beginning of Eid al-Adha celebrations, which is the end of the annual Hajj season. Pilgrims cast pebbles, large columns at Jamarat and Mina, in one of the main rites of the Hajj. Pilgrims today also performed their sacrifice of animals, shortening their hair and moving in a walk between the Safa and Al-Marwa. Pilgrims will continue performing Hajj rituals by staying in Mina, supplicating Almighty and thanking His gracious blessings, as well as continuing to throw pebbles starting from smaller to medium and the biggest stone, each with 7 pebbles. More than 2 million pilgrims have arrived for the annual pilgrimage, a religious duty for every able-bodied Muslim who can afford the journey. The Sultanate celebrated today the first day of the blessed Eid al-Adha. Most Eid sermons focused on calling for tolerance, putting aside all differences and disputes, activating the language of dialogue, and to put an end to wars. In the Sultanate, citizens and residents performed the Eid prayers and listened to the issues raised in Eid sermons. Then they congratulated each other on this occasion, greeting family members and neighbours with feelings of solidarity, love and closeness. Children with their new clothes and smiles on their faces gave the celebrations more joy and happiness. Omani traditional dishes are another feature of Eid celebrations in the Sultanate. Meanwhile, traditional arts are also part of the Eid festivities in Oman. In the Governorate of Musandam, people there, like any other place, start their day by leading the Eid prayer and listening to the khutbah, in which the Imam reminds them to count the blessings bestowed upon them by Allah. After, everyone congratulates each other on this happy occasion as they pray to Allah to accept their deeds and prayers. In Musandam, families and friends seize this occasion to visit each other in response to the teachings of Islam and the Omani customs that urge them to strengthen their ties with their families, friends and other people. After eating the Eid banquet, which is made for all friends and visitors, boys, young men and elders perform the Nadbad traditional song to commemorate the occasion. The Eid day is an opportunity for the young and old generations to meet with each other, to revive and pass on the traditions to the next in line. Still to come in our news bulletin. Harif Salala Women Volleyball Championship concludes while aiming to promote women's sports across the country.
عبق فاح بين جنباتها، فنفثت سلاما برائحة لبانها. حلقت عاليا نحو السماء، فنقشت بأبجدياتها تاريخا جميلا، وبكرمها أمست مضربا للأمثال. مهرجان صلالة السياحي 2018 من 10 من يوليو إلى 25 من أغسطس.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The recently reinstated American sanctions on Iran have left neighbouring Iraq between a rock and a hard place. Iraq does a huge amount of business with Iran, but it continues to do so. It could be in breach of the sanctions. This would anger the United States, a key ally of the Iraqi government. Traders in the Kurdish region of Suleimania, northern Iraq, have expressed concern, pointing out that they rely on Iran for fruit and vegetables during the winter months. Recent reports suggest that Iraq might try to gain exemption from some of the sanctions so that it continues to trade across the border. Iran is Iraq's third biggest trading partner after Turkey and China. Iraq imports food products, construction materials, and chemicals and energy products from its neighbor. Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad has called for fair trade with China, warning Beijing against a new version of colonialism in which poor countries would be subject to unfair competition. His comments came during a joint news conference with Premier Li Keqiang in Beijing, as Mahathir sought to deepen investment ties while seeking support as it deals with mass debt and a host of other economic problems. Mahathir is a vocal critic of large-scale investment in his country, backed by loans from Beijing, and has tested Malaysia's ties with China by suspending Chinese financial infrastructure projects. Mahathir Mohamad told reporters on his final day of his visit to Beijing today that the multi-billion-dollar Chinese finance project in Malaysia has been cancelled because they aren't needed and will saddle the country with an unsustainable amount of debt. The projects are key components in the signature Belt and Road initiative to construct ports, railways, and other trade-related infrastructure across Asia, mostly built by Chinese contractors and financed by loans from Chinese state banks. Firefighters today continue to search for survivors in a narrow gorge in the southern region of Calabria after a devastating flash flood swept away dozens of people a day earlier, killing at least 10. Rescue workers saved 23 people yesterday after a torrent of 2.5-meter deep water filled the narrow Raganello Gorge, which features rock faces as high as 700 meters. 11 people were hospitalized, including 4 children who lost either one or both of their parents. 3 people who had been listed as missing were located elsewhere. Italian prosecutors today opened a criminal investigation into the deaths, and the government has asked for a separate administrative proceeding to determine if there were lapses that could have prevented the deaths. Harif Salala Women Volleyball Championship concluded this year with Sohar clubs securing the cup, as they competed with other 5 women teams representing different governorates of Oman. The event was held under the auspice of Her Honourable Dr. Amuna bin Ahmed Adonia, the State Council member and the Dean of the College of Medicine and Health Sciences in Sultan Qaboos University. The event, which took place in Sultan Qaboos Youth Complex for Culture and Recreation, was organised by the Ministry of Sports Affairs in cooperation with Oman Volleyball Association and Al Nasser Club to promote women in sports across the country and discover new talents to participate in other regional and international volleyball championships. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the governorates of Dhofar and its nearby mountains, with chances of intermittent drizzle. The rest of the Sultanate will have clear to cloudy skies with chances of cloud accumulation and scattered rainfall over the Hajar Mountains. Low cloud and fog late at night and early morning are expected over the most of the coast, and winds will be south to southeasterly light to moderate. The seas will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. This is the Sultan of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Sultanate, along with Arab and Islamic countries, celebrates the first day of the blessed Eid al-Adha. And Hajj pilgrims carry out the stoning of the devil ritual, marking the beginning of Eid al-Adha celebrations. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of it here at the newsroom and the studio, it's good night.